Bitcoin is in a very, very concerning place right now, and I have to break this down for you because we could be looking at quite a catastrophic breakdown if things get just slightly worse from here, but we are at a crucial reversal point. So while everyone is going crazy and getting too excited, overexcited over this price action, Four flies us back to ground us and bring us right back to reality and break down exactly what we've got going on here. Now, the first thing that I want to talk about to you guys is that this area Bitcoin is at right now is the very bottom of a critical support area, in my opinion. This area stretching down to 41.6, if you're already subscribed to this YouTube channel from a few days ago, at least will know that this is a critical area of support that I was watching for Bitcoin, and seeing that we're just on the edge of it right now is quite concerning. The thing is Bitcoin came back down to this area just last night, managed to get a reversal, found resistance up here, which I'm going to talk about because this was very, very bad. And then Bitcoin's right back down to the same level again right now. This is a good area of support in my opinion. Bitcoin consolidated here for quite a bit of time in a relatively tight range of about, less than 1%. Most of the price action here happened in this range. And we stayed here for, let's just measure this, for quite a while, right? I mean, it's only 4 days, but it was very, very tight price action. The issue is that below this box, you can see that if Bitcoin fell below this box, it spiked down very, very quickly and very low. Now, I absolutely think that we're going to be looking at something like that happening again if we do fall below this, and the problem is that there's no support for Bitcoin if we manage to drop below this box until we fall all the way down to $40,000, or we can say about 40,500, because this is where some of these bounces have happened. And so that is quite a drop from here. It's only a few percentage points, but it's still quite important. It's a 2.5% drop, and the reason that it's still quite important is that this reaction rally which Bitcoin managed to form all the way up to 44,000 is going to mean that we're going to see nearly a 10% drop if we do fall down to this price level. And again, we're right on the edge of that right now. Now, that's not the only bad stuff I'm seeing right here, and I'll get to that in just a second. But for now, I just want to reiterate again that this is a good area of support, and I don't want us to lose sight of that at the moment. Bitcoin hasn't lost market structure yet. We are still setting higher lows in the trend if we manage to bottom out right here. And we're potentially getting ready to set higher highs as well, right? So this can still work out to be a nice kind of mini uptrend, which obviously can pave its way into a reversal. The other thing that I'm seeing right here, ladies and gents, is that if I just draw a vertical line right here and then another vertical line probably about right here, you can tell pretty... What was that? What did I just do there? You can tell pretty well there. That's interesting. I've never done that before. Pretty well here that just during this area in the market, volume was rising up pretty nicely, indicating that while we were getting this bullish breakout, a lot of people were agreeing with this price action. And then after this red line, when the market starts trending down, volume isn't really there anymore. And so volume is still also on the side of the bulls. While we were rising up, volume was back in the bulls. While we're dropping down, it's happening slowly and not with much volume. So I think that that's still also really, really important. The other thing that I want to draw to your attention is this beautiful fear and greed index, which is still in extreme fear territory, an extremely fearful territory, showing us that people are still very, very scared of the market. Look at how long we've been in extreme fear for. To me, something like this indicates that the market just isn't ready to break down below a critical level, because we're not comfortable at these levels, right? And if we're not comfortable at these levels, naturally, people aren't really going to want to buy at these levels. And, to me, that means that, it's generally only when the majority of people have bought a lot of Bitcoin. For example, a lot of people got fooled on this rally, which, by the way, we were calling to a T, knowing that Bitcoin would drop down from here. Again, if you're subscribed to the channel, you'll know all about that. Do me a favor and smash up the likes on this video, by the way, if you're finding these videos useful, guiding you through the rough waves of these markets right here. Because a lot of people would have bought the hype right here, gotten excited in the market right here, and of course that's why we would see a little bit of a rip down. Now, not only is all of that at play, but also the funding rates, which you guys know I think are absolutely critical for the market, still on the 1 hour time frame looking pretty bullish to me, right? They are still negative, And on the daily time frame, they're not budging by too much. This is the here we go. Just make sure I show this to you properly. They're not budging by too much on the daily time frame. They are getting a little bit less bullish as time goes on. We are seeing people take on a little bit more long positions in the market and so on, but for the most part it's still pretty negative. It is still a pretty negative funding rate, and again that will naturally imply that a lot of people, perhaps too many people, are bearish in this market right now. And again, to me, seeing this kind of downtrend, I just feel like it's I feel like it's been going on for quite a long time, perhaps even too strong. I completely get that we could be seeing a drop down to the bottom of this wedge, but I mean, this is going to take us all the way down to $30,000, and so it's not a decision, it's not a piece of analysis that I could make lightly. But I guess where things start to get pretty ugly again is I want to show you this red line right here on this chart. Now, this red line was Bitcoin's rising wedge that it was forming, and if I take you back to the Bitstamp chart, I can draw this for you pretty nicely and cleanly right here so you can visualize what this looked like. And it's something a little bit like this, where broadly speaking, you guys already know the deal if you've been subscribed to the channel for a while. Bitcoin loves to form these patterns where it trends down, it forms the staircase step, and it trends down again and again and again and again. And we do this in downtrends like this, we do this in uptrends like this. We just constantly, we have the direction of the trend, we briefly fight the trend, and then we move in the direction of the trend again and we briefly fight it. It's completely normal. Bitcoin's done this a lot. And the thing is most recently, Bitcoin did this right here with two key fake outs, one to the downside and one to the upside, but for the most part managed to stay in this wedge. And it's a fairly, important wedge in my opinion. Bitcoin was in it for about 10 days. And the thing is we stayed in it quite nicely, but as soon as we managed to drop out of it right here with closes, mind you, look at this right here. When we managed to fake out below this wedge, we didn't close any candles below it in any significant way. Yes, we did close a few candles right here, but I can just draw this down a little bit further and it would still be just as accurate, right? But broadly speaking, Bitcoin didn't really close any candles below the rising wedge right here, which is a good sign because it shows us that, there's a lot of quick buying pressure that steps back into the market. On this occasion, we can't see the same thing. It's not the same case. We fell out of this wedge. We didn't get an immediate explosion of buying pressure. We actually just kept falling down for the next few hours. And then we ended up coming back up for that kiss of death before now targeting these areas again. This is what is so bearish on the chart right now, in my opinion. It is simply the fact that Bitcoin had this kiss of death where it was previously finding support here in the market over the previous 10 days. It's now finding resistance here and ripping back down to the same levels, and it's at the very bottom of its support range right now. If I remove this box, you can see this dotted orange line showing us where the consolidation, that box I was showing you at the beginning of the video where Bitcoin was kind of, broadly speaking, just consolidating in this range. We're right at the very, very bottom of it right now, so as far as, potentially scary, concerning patterns go, we're not doing ourselves any favor right now. We're also seeing altcoins, lose quite a bit of holding in the market as well. This is Ethereum against Bitcoin, which I was mentioning to you guys that I was expecting to drop down. I already had these resistance lines drawn on the chart. We've fallen down into my buy area for Ethereum against Bitcoin. I still think it can drop lower, perhaps back down to this blue line like it already did. Again, all of this stuff already predicted on the channel, already predicted inside of 𝗪𝗪's VIP. And by the way, you can join it by clicking on the first link in the description down below, and then the @𝗪𝗪s button, and then on send message. This is the group where I show you absolutely every single detail about every trade that I'm making or planning to make. I did actually make a trade on Phantom last night, which unfortunately resulted in a small loss. It was a very high risk trade for me, so I told VIP members I'm trading with less money than usual. But unfortunately, it didn't go in my direction, which is completely fine. It's part of the game, and one of the biggest parts of being a trader is how do you navigate losses, because you better believe that they're going to happen, and it's about how do you dust yourself off and come right back to the battlefield straight away again. And that is what I'm planning on doing right now inside of 𝗪𝗪's VIP, because the market is so hot. There's so many trading opportunities right here that I will be going back into this market for another setup very, very soon. And if you want to make sure that you don't miss that, follow these steps on screen to jump inside the group. But let's move us back to the charts right here. Like I said, altcoins bleeding pretty hard. Even Cardano, which gains quite a lot of value against Bitcoin. Look at that. It tops out at exactly my area of resistance that I had drawn on this chart. Again, just going to show that this technical analysis, which I carried out a long time ago, is still holding true. This is the thing though, is that even Cardano, one of the strongest performers in the market recently, has seen a little bit of a drop against Bitcoin. Ethereum against Bitcoin has seen a drop. Tron against Bitcoin, for example, just to give you random shitcoin examples, has also seen a drop against Bitcoin. In fact, nearly everything has, and I'm sure if we look at the dominance, this is going to be reflected pretty clearly right now, where, you know, generally we're going to see more money flowing into Bitcoin. Look at this right here, huge increase. I know it doesn't look like a lot, right, going from 39.4 to 40%, but you know, that 0.6% swing represents billions and billions of dollars with a B, huge amounts of money being thrown around because people are scared. This is the bottom line that it comes to, ladies and gents, and you know, this is why I'm here. I'm going to tell you the truth, and I'm not going to give a fuck what you feel about it, because that's not going to change the truth. And the honest, you know, the God's honest truth about this market right here is that people in markets like this are going to be feeling generally quite scared. We know this. I've shown you the fear and greed index. If we take a look at it right here, it's just constantly been in fear territory right here, right? It's no surprise. People are going to be feeling pretty scared in a market like this because their main holding, Bitcoin, or even you know, conventional assets and indices like you know, the S&P 500, for example, just generally aren't performing super well recently, right? They're dropping down at the moment. So, you know, people's main bets, their easy, safe, predictable bets, are not doing well right now. So naturally, people are not going to be feeling greedy. They're going to be feeling fearful. And when you're fearful in a financial market, you're generally going to hunker down a little bit. I forgot the right word. You're gonna tighten up, and you're gonna try and protect what you already have. And what that generally means is you're gonna drop the very, very risky things that you're in. You know, it just makes total sense, right? When you've lost a lot of money, let's say, you know, you've just, you know, your house is blown away in a tornado and you didn't have insurance or anything like that. You've just lost a major asset and it's an absolutely shit time in life. This is not the time where you go out spending money in the club. This is the time where you count your pennies, you make sure that you have enough food to eat and so on. Now, what that translates to in these markets is very simply that people just become more frugal and more careful with where they put their money. And that absolutely always means that altcoins drop harder than Bitcoin when markets are turbulent like they are right now. So I want you guys to keep that in mind. I mean, that's why altcoins are considered to be higher risk and higher reward. The problem is they don't generally deliver higher reward compared to somebody who, for example, trades on leverage with Bitcoin, which is what I do, because you're able to control the risk very tightly on Bitcoin, and you can maximize the reward by dialing up the leverage. That's what I aim to do. And if you don't know anything about that, by the way, you can watch my video that I made on it by typing into YouTube how to trade, just like this, 4 flies, and you can watch my video that I made right here, 1,000 into 1 million, how to turn 1K into 1 million, where I show you my exact methodology for trading. It's a free video, and it shouldn't be free, and it's 51 minutes long. So if you don't have that much time to watch a video like this, you shouldn't even be on this YouTube channel, because you're just not serious enough. And I don't care what extenuating circumstances mean that you can't watch this amazing free content, you know, just because you feel like you're too busy or you can't prioritize it. If you're watching this video, then you absolutely must watch this one if you need it. Of course, you may already have the knowledge, and in that case, it's completely fine. But too many people are lazy, and I want to call that out right here, because this is the kind of content that I was charging a lot of money for just going like a year ago. So this is, yeah, quite important. And again, just moving us back to the markets right now, you know, I think that that's important to keep in mind right now, as people are going to kind of start closing up a little bit, getting a little bit more conservative with their money. But of course, if we start to see a rise back again in this market, we're going to see that optimism returning. And like I said, we are still in this support range. What I want to do right now, though, is just take a look at some of the key indicators that I like to use to give me an idea of where Bitcoin is going to go. And by the way, I'm actually going to make another more macro analysis video on Bitcoin probably later today. So if you want to catch that, do me a favor, make sure you're subscribed to the channel, make sure you're engaging with the video by dropping a like, telling me what you think about it in the comments. The more you do that, the more YouTube is going to recommend these videos to you. Of course, tick the bell as well so you get notified when these very time-sensitive videos come out. If you do want to watch that upcoming Bitcoin video where I tell you more about my macro thoughts on Bitcoin, the more longer-term vision that I'm seeing right here. But just for right now, I mean, the first thing that jumps out to me is that Bitcoin has been continuously trending down in this 4-hour chart for quite a few candles now. I mean, pretty much from right up here to our current candle, that is 15 4-hour candles in a row where we've pretty much generally been trending lower. That's quite a lot. I'm sure that 𝗪𝗪𝗧𝗔𝗡𝗧 MRI indicator is going to show us that we're due for a reversal. Let's take a look at this. We're probably overdue for a reversal right now. Let's wait for this thing to load up because I'm curious to see what it says. Yeah, so we've already so we were due for a reversal around the $42,000 level, and we're now about $300 below that. So yeah, definitely makes sense to me right there. It's showing us that a key area of resistance to break will be about 43.5, but I don't think that that's high enough. I think the key area to break is this high that Bitcoin set at 44.6. Yeah, I don't want to spend too much more time on this indicator because it's quite confusing, but if you want to buy it, you can just Google it. The thing is on this 4-hour time frame with the Ichimoku cloud that you guys know that I love to use, we are, I think, looking at a situation where we've seen yet another confirmed rejection, right? I mean, we traded in the cloud a little bit, we struggled, and we're now back down. At the very same time, let's take a look at where some of the momentum on this market is at the moment. And yeah, I mean, we didn't even hit the key area of resistance on this chart on the daily time frame. So that's showing us even more about the weakness that this market is facing right now, right? Like, it's just not in a super healthy, comfortable place at the moment, where it hasn't even had the chance to rise up into these resistance areas, and it's already showing this much weakness. So to me, that is also not a good sign. Getting a little bit of lag right now, so the face has got to go away, unfortunately, but that is something which I am going to continue to keep an eye on, even on the larger time frame with the Ichimoku cloud right here. Just look at how big this area of resistance has become now. I was warning about this as we were developing it, that it's it started off fairly small. The resistance range only spun across about a $2,000 area, but now it spans across about a $7,500 area, right? So that's a 15% range. That's a massive range for the market. And by the way, it stretches all the way down to about $47,000, meaning that if Bitcoin at some point around the middle or late February ends up targeting this area, it's going to have resistance really low down, and it's going to have a lot of resistance. And basically what that means to me is that while this Ichimoku cloud is quite large, resistance is going to be very strong, meaning that while the resistance cloud right here isn't large, the resistance cloud right here isn't a big resistance cloud, to me, that means that we should have an easier time reaching it sooner than we will if we target it later. That is a very important note. So again, on a larger time frame, I'm still looking for where and how Bitcoin can reverse. I still want to see the bullish signs in this market. I'm not getting them right now for the most part. I am showing you the good and the bad on this chart so you can make your own decision. I'm not seeing enough to convince myself fully just yet. But again, one of the key things that I do know about, I was saying this with Cardano, for example, as I was mentioning that Cardano, I absolutely think is going to be at was at a crucial, beautiful buy level. I was saying this just days ago when I made my Cardano video. Again, those of you who are subscribed will have seen it right here. I made this video 3 days ago. This doorbell is driving me crazy. It only happens when I record my videos. It's no other time, right? Why else would you bother? But anyway, right here, making that video on Cardano because I was seeing these opportunities in the altcoin markets, and I'm still seeing them right here. Like I said, Phantom being something that I'm quite interested in because it has been very active recently, and I am looking at it potentially, finding a little bit of support right here because this is a critical area before targeting some levels higher up. I'll make another video on Phantom if you guys think it's necessary, but just do me a favor and drop it in the comments, because the last time that I made a video on Phantom, it did really badly on the YouTube channel. We didn't actually get many views on that video, so I don't know if that's because it was bad timing or if you guys just generally are not interested in it. But just let me know in the comments, are you interested in me making a Phantom? This is too much. This is too much. Are you interested in me making a Phantom video again, or would you prefer that I leave it to the side? I'm going to go and fuck up whoever's at the door right now disrupting this video. Thank you all for tuning in. You know exactly what to do. Hit up the like, subscribe, tick the bell. 𝗪𝗪 VIP steps on screen right here. If you want your free cash, Bybit link in the description for $4,000 completely free of charge. All you got to do is sign up using the link down below, make your first Bitcoin deposit, and you will get up to $4,000, just a little bit over $4,000 deposited into your account as a free bonus, just for using my link in the description. So anyway, thank you all for tuning in. I'll see you all in the next one. Bye-bye.